next guest this morning is a young man with a powerful voice which has pushed his record into the #1 slot in the charts. The title, Never Gonna Give You Up, could be Rick Astley's motto for holding on to the prime pop spot. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining. How are you coping with fame so far? I mean, you were absolutely catapulted into stardom, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right, but I mean, I'm just taking it as it comes in.
You like it.
I am reading Last of Us Part 2.
Oh boy.
I need to buy a PS4, but I don't have a job.
I would wait until there's a PS5 if you're going to buy one. There's no point in buying a PS4. The PS5 comes out in this Christmas.
Really?
Is what they say. Yeah.
Or buy a cheap ass 4.
Or buy a PS2.
What? Well, I have a PS3, and do they even make The Last of Us?
I seriously doubt it. But I can let you borrow mine when I'm done if you want.
Really?
Maybe. That's really offering a lot,
I wish
actually.
I wouldn't actually have said
Yeah.
that.
If you're gonna get a 5, if you get a 5,
if I get a 5, I can give you my 4 for
Can
sure.
I actually yeah? But by then I'm gonna get a 5.
It's exciting times, guys. I'm a freak for the PlayStation.
They have a special limited edition PlayStation 4 or The Last of Us 2.
Do they
and
really?
It comes with the game and it's $300.
That's a
Pretty
smashing
decent
deal, dude. Actually,
With the
to be
And
honest.
look at the PS4. It's made to look like
Oh, it's a
beautiful.
little Firefly thing.
$300 with the game.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
that's not bad.
Honestly, and quite frankly, the PlayStation is kind of for me, it is an insane deal because it does so much.
So even if
That
I
you're it's just an impossibly powerful entertainment system.
It is.
Yeah.
so it's worth having even if I don't play video games.
For sure, dude.
What do I do with it?
You can fucking play DVDs, dude. You can put cups on it.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
Limited edition.
pretty cool. All right, well, this is Did You Reddit, a weekly podcast about the internet by way of Reddit, the front page of the internet. My name is It's Your Dad.
I'm Dog Boobs.
Not every day.
We are, today is going to be the first episode that we do of the front page review. And I hit that one. That wasn't on purpose, but that one worked.
It worked.
That was convenient. So we're last week we covered world politics and anime titties and Masnick's impossibility theorem. So thank you for everybody who listened and everybody who gave us positive feedback.
Man, so much homework we did. It was deep.
That was an interest. I mean, I got a lot out of that one actually. I got a lot of
It was good.
I got a spiritual. That was like a spiritually powerful episode for me. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you know what I mean. Where it was just it felt like we hit some things that I was like,
Yes.
wow, I didn't know about that, and I've been thinking about Masnick's impossibility theorem basically ever since.
Yes.
Yeah.
because it's such it
was
kind of colors
actually
the world the way we
interesting.
look at digital shit now. You know?
Yeah, it was a cool opportunity to learn something new
Right.
myself.
I had an idea based on it after the episode that I was pitching to my wife who said it was a terrible idea. But I think you guys will like it. But essentially what there's like a law that's after 150 people,
Right.
you can't manage your group anymore.
Right.
That's I
Right.
think it's a evolutionary thing, like a tribal thing, right?
Well, that's basically Arrow's impossibility theorem.
yeah.
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 And we were kind of applying it to Facebook,
Right.
Instagram, whatever. But it would be cool if there was a social media platform that only had a maximum amount of relationships,
Right.
120, 150, whatever it is. And it's
That's interesting.
In that space, you can sort of, you can manage it and police it, because you know everyone personally probably.
Right.
And you actually probably see them on a regular basis. So if someone's being a total dick, you'd be like, hey man, you're messing up the tribe, you're screwing up the
Yeah.
group.
It's tribalism.
And you might get more honest conversations in there because people trust that they're not going to get canceled or something. I don't know. It feels like and maybe that's what Facebook groups are, but it doesn't seem like
But they're
it.
not restrictive, and Facebook is just.
So I'm pitching my $1 billion idea to the public,
to the Wendy's employee.
to somebody out there.
Sir, this is.
Hey,
Wendy's.
just cut us in, man.
That's. I mean, hey, there's. We're going to eventually get to. We're going to have to reinvent a lot of things because we're now at this point where.
Yeah.
And this is
Make them more manageable on a personal level.
Well, we've also completely disregarded what were at one point really powerful laws around the monolithic industry, giant companies, right? So we have now we have Facebook and Google and Twitter, And I would, Amazon and Google, I think, have monopolized their industries at this point. They are massive corporations that have kind of completely, they have absolutely, they are the only ones that do what they do, particularly Amazon. So, but we don't have nobody's enforcing antitrust anymore. So once antitrust laws start becoming enforced again, hopefully we're going to see different kind of companies come from that.
Break them up.
Yeah, it would be, if you break up Amazon into their fucking data, they're like, I don't know, what are they? The server brand and then their Prime brand and then whatever, and call them all these different things. They're gonna have to find new ways to do business. So
I can't wait till I get killed by a robot that's called Amazon Services. I'll be like,
how far from it?
Have you seen the Amazon streaming commercials that are like, and we're never leaving?
Yeah.
No.
Have you heard their new tagline? It's
Is
like,
there a new tagline? We're never leaving.
it's literally like, well, we're never going to stop helping. It's like very
even if I don't want your help,
threatening.
Right.
yeah, we're giving it to you.
Amazon's new tagline, low key threatening.
You know what would be a baller move is if they delivered like Christmas gifts to everybody,
right.
even though they're not even a member. It's just like as like a promotional thing. It's like via a drone. It's like you get a fucking gift. I don't want it. You're getting it.
I mean, that's the
You're
Apple
getting it.
Apple U2 album thing
That
where it's
keeps
just
playing
like,
on my phone.
Hey, we know you guys want the YouTube
Hello,
album. Never
come
wanted the YouTube
on.
album.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I know. I don't think I ever had that. I think
I had it.
I
You
had
probably hacked it in a way.
I definitely hacked it.
And
I'm a hacker.
There's
so.
another Amazon commercial now that's like, I'm almost annoyed at how over the top Amazon's been with personal safety.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Have you seen that? It's like they're almost too safe now.
They're not.
They're not.
They're objectively not. People are dying in their warehouses almost every day. So
You know what's crazy is like the strategy is so old fashioned and simple. They're like, we're terrible employees. We're gonna make a shitload of ads that say we're not, and it works.
It's
and
classic.
And then people just go like, oh, they're great. Like
It's very classic.
after
I know.
a little while. I'm like, I guess people buy TV.
I guess people buy a TV. All right. Well, that's not what we're talking about this week.
We're just catching up, just to clean up.
Catching up. We gotta clean up our fucking guts.
Yeah.
That's what I always like to say.
Back in studio, episode 2. Back in studio.
We're experimenting with video stuff today as well. I mean, you're gonna be hearing. We're gonna post this on the Dominic Russo official YouTube channel. But part of the reason is because as we do a front page review, we want to be able to show the things that we were talking about. We're not going to be doing Twitch this week only because we need to mechanically figure out the best way to handle Twitch because we have a few different systems going on and I don't want to like fuck it up knowing that we fucked it up before and then people got mad and then people turned on us and then we'll get arrested and we'll all go to the gulags. So the dystopian future where you fuck up a Twitch channel and then you have to go to prison for it.
Yeah, that's a Black Mirror episode.
That is a Black Mirror episode. But all right, so starting with the front page review. So
I went to a dark place when you were saying that.
I know, I could tell. I see like the Vietnam flashback happening in your eyes as we were talking. So this week is an interesting one because this was kind of, the last time we did our front page review, we were just entering the coronavirus really, and it was everything on the front page was coronavirus and it was such a fucking bummer. And we were dealing with a few weeks of this where it was just like Hong Kong protests, Australian fires, the coronavirus, and it was just like cool. Okay. Now Rickrolling is the thing. So have you guys been following the Spotline?
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen.
A little bit.
I think this is where I think
break
we
it down.
can't. So, all right. So
I keep going.
well, so I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I don't want to like say that I like know exactly what it's all about. I'm also going to really quickly before I do that, I have to.
Are you saying you're not a you're not an expert?
I'm an expert for sure. I'm an expert, but
The Rickrolling thing.
yeah, go into it because I have to. Evidently, I have to.
Let's check out our
authenticate my,
friends. Know your meme.
So yeah, I don't actually
we go.
I don't get why did Rick Astley like do an AMA this week or something?
Well, so what happened? So
Picture.
So the image that we are referring to is specifically this is the top of this past week, right? And it is a photo of literally Rick Astley. It's from a user, really Rick Astley, right? And I found a few memories during lockdown, a few funny memories during lockdown. This is from my first tour in '89, backstage in Vegas, right?
And he's literally rolling on a bike.
Right. So everybody's like, holy shit, this is Rick Astley. Oh my God. Because he's like, I mean, he is, for a mediocre, barely even a one-hit wonder. I wouldn't even call him a one-hit wonder because he wasn't like Never Gonna Give You Up is a smash hit now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was like the whole reason is because of the internet.
Damn.
Which is wild to say, but he is, one of the biggest celebrities on the internet, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
he posted this photo.
Yes.
Everybody is like, holy shit, that's Rick Astley. And then from that point on, everybody, from what I gather, and part of the reason I gather this is because another post that was a top from this past week was this guy just rickrolled Rick Astley. I think he's won the internet, right? So this is four down. And this seems to have been a game on this post, which is why this is so popular, is you're seeing all these photos. So the 1-4 down is, and by the way, this has the 1-4 down is 167,000 upvotes, and the Rick Astley photo is quickly becoming an all-time Reddit post at 290,000 upvotes.
It's huge.
Right? It's a huge post. But people are posting comments that are like, oh my, what? I can't even believe I'm seeing you right now. This is amazing. Here's this photo I found from, like, you took a photo of me when I was on tour or when you were on tour and they're just rickrolling each other.
That is amazing.
So they've turned it in this big game of how to get rickrolled or how to rickroll as many times as possible in the comment section of the photo of Rick Astley. And
every time you think you're not going to fall for it, someone fucking tricks you.
well, that's the beautiful trick of rickrolling, right? And part of the reason this is interesting actually is because do you guys remember a few months ago when everybody was like the rickroll has died, that video has finally been monetized on YouTube. So every time you would do the rickroll, it would play an ad before it.
Oh yeah,
Which
and
kills
it's
it.
ruined.
Which kills it, which destroys it, obviously. So I don't know what the like trick. I don't know how they tricked
Got
it,
around
right?
that.
How they got around it, but yeah. So reading some of the comments on the photo from Rick. So
There's got to be a bot that can like relaunch the video every 10 minutes.
I'm sure there is. I mean, there's
without an
tons
ad,
everywhere.
You know?
So thanks all the love, comments, DMs, etc. And finally, Malleable Duck. I salute you, Rick. And I think Malleable Duck is the one who rickrolled him, I believe. So I may not be the biggest fan of your music, but I am forever a fan of you for being such a good sport on the internet, on such a hateful place, whatever. Where's the one? Yeah, there's some posts. I don't know where they are, but yeah, a reminder that Rick gave his best AMA answer over a few years back. No, this is not a Rickroll. And then this is, he had this lengthy, will you ever give me up? Go fuck yourself was his response on the Rickroll. So this is a fun, interesting thing that's happened. I mean, I love it because this is a game that's happened just randomly on Reddit. And, in the moments of carnage that we're all dealing with right now, this is actually kind of one of the simplest classic internet things, and I think that this has also been,
It's been around for so long.
It's been around for so long. And this is a weird moment where there are a lot of celebrities who are kind of like coming out of the woodwork to be normal people. Right. And part of the reason I think is because they are like bored like us, normal celebrities who are just like don't have a lot going on.
Yeah.
So the idea of Rick Astley, who, not that he was on tour anyway, but like knowing that he's just like, hey, I was looking through some photos and I found this and now I'm like,
also maybe feels like not a bad time to be a celebrity, but like people maybe care the least about the fact that like you have perfect proportions and you're a good actor.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's
in a time of like actual community stress.
Yeah.
Being an actor doesn't matter all that much.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when the actors come out and do their video, which is really funny. Did you guys see that one?
What was the latest?
It was like the I take responsibility video. It was a bunch of just like white actors saying that they take responsibility for racism, and it was just like it was kind of like the Gal Gadot.
It was
version.
Why?
It's
I
like
can't believe
the
they
new.
wouldn't have learned from the Gal Gadot one. Like nobody wants to hear from celebrities right now.
And it's
No.
it's like more maybe even it's as cringeworthy, I would say. And that was like last week.
Which one was
Right.
it? Whose celebrity? Which one?
Julianne Moore, I think, was like the face of it, but then a bunch of people did it that were big, like Jesse Pinkman from
Right.
Breaking Bad, and his version, like it almost went to Pinkman-esque. Like he almost
Oh, really?
started. He's like, I'm respond. He like started almost probably on accident doing it.
Oh my
That's-
god.
But anyway, yeah, like it seems like a bad time because they can't say either like stay in your homes because
Yeah.
they all live in
Right, of course.
palatial
Mansions.
mansions and
It's like when Ellen
seem-
DeGeneres
Right.
in the beginning was like, it's like literally being in prison from
Did she
her
really?
mansion.
yeah, like
Oh
Pablo
my God.
Escobar's prison in Colombia that
Yeah.
time where he had all the whores and tigers flown in.
All that
time.
cocaine, all that booger sugar and the tigers and the whores. What a terrible
The tigers.
Did you watch that
And
show? That
whores.
episode where he gets put in prison. He does a deal with the government. They put him in
Right.
prison. The deal is he's going to make his own prison.
Right.
And he builds his own prison on a mountain. It's a fucking mansion. And it's got like
Gorgeous.
pools and
He's
hot
like, I'll
tubs.
stay here.
And you're watching on TV and you're going like, this didn't happen. And you Wikipedia, you're like, it fucking happened just like that. And there's
The police
pictures and like truckloads of prostitutes would come in. They'd be having like parties.
They're
I'm
like,
like,
I know.
this rules.
Hey,
Yeah.
that sounds like
So that was like Ellen's prison.
as long as he stays up there,
He just stayed up there. Like,
as long as he cuts out that bad business.
Was it called? Oh yes, it was called La Cathedral, I guess.
La Catedral?
La Cathedral.
which is still there, I'm sure, right? Or
Well, let's see what it's all about. You guys can see my screen.
Catedral.
The fate
Look how
of
beautiful.
Pablo Escobar's private luxury prison. I mean,
such a baller move.
I would like to live in that luxury prison, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, look at this courtyard, man. Like, that's not a fucking prison.
I should build this on The Sims.
You should build that on The Sims. You'd actually make a killing building that on
Yeah.
The Sims.
Yeah.
Oh my god! For
Can you-
everybody who
and you can
doesn't
sell it?
know, who's listening, but I told the rest of the Did You Reddit team here that I was playing The Sims yesterday
Right.
and building, and a Black Lives Matter thing popped up on
Love
The
it.
Sims.
Love
and I
it.
was like, yes! Even The Sims are getting behind it, and The Sims are one of the most inclusive games ever. You guys.
Yeah,
You can literally be like, you can choose without any mods or anything. You can be like, I want to dress
Right.
this way.
That's
I
true.
want to be able to have babies, which is basically the Sims saying, what genitals do you have?
Right.
Like, that's brilliant.
Are you?
Got
Are they finally allowing interracial marriage though? I know for a long time they were.
Wait, really?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm like, I've never had an issue with this, Ben.
It was a glitch.
Yeah, I
Oh
didn't
my
know.
God.
I think that was the expansion pack that,
That
I
was-
had.
yeah,
the
that was-
the 1950s Alabama expansion pack.
That was your
yeah.
antebellum expansion pack that you really shouldn't have gotten on,
I know.
on
I
the
know.
dark web.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I downloaded a random exe file from the dark web, and it made all of my Sims extremely racist.
Really fucked.
All right, so other things on the front page. So I saw this one. This was kind of an interesting. This is like an innocuous, beautiful, simple thing, right? So octopi. So the reason I like this, right? So first of all, you see that and you go, no, you don't think of aquatic animals as pets,
No.
right?
Give us the stats here.
The stats were at 29. So this is also for perspective, right? And I maybe this is just because I saw it. Yeah, it was 8 hours ago, so it's still relatively new. I saw this last night, but 28,000 as compared to the Rick Astley,
Right.
290,000.
This is like random popular. Rick Astley's like royalty popular. It's
Yeah,
like when
and-
the queen,
and the
when
Rick-
the queen
exactly.
farts, everyone's like, "Ooh,
Ooh,
she farts too."
that is a good fart.
Flots.
So the reason I like this
Was that a baby voiced dog? Like she
She
farted.
fought. Yes. That's like, I love not pronouncing R's lately.
It's the
My friend
best.
has a dog named Bert, and we just call him Bot.
but
Bot! I love Bot.
so I gotta find it. I don't know where it went, but there is a bot that is an animal facts bot.
Oh, cool.
And
Oh.
here we go, animal facts bot.
There it is.
And so I
So
thought this
useful.
was interesting because it was just as a bots on Reddit are funny, right? Because
Yeah.
most of them I kind of get how they work because they're pretty simple scripts,
Yeah.
right? It's like you post an image and it goes, hey, did you mean to post this image?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, pretty simple, like A then B, right?
Pick out all the fire hydrants.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Hey, bot.
A bot.
Yeah.
A bot.
What's up? Thanks
but-
for keeping us safe.
For
Thanks
this
for
one,
keeping us
for this one's a random, like there are, it just lists animal facts. And I also wonder sometimes when you see a bot on Reddit like this, I'm also curious. It would be an easy thing to claim to be a bot, right? And just
Yeah,
I can
that'd
make a
be
username
funny.
that's like fucking like fart facts bot,
Yeah.
right?
It'd
And then
be-
just like whenever I search fart on Reddit sometimes, and then I just like post non-facts,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, having a friend like this would be severely annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like after a while, be like, okay, Jimbo, we get it. You know everything
bot
about
friend.
animals. Like he just like always chimes in. He's
Yeah.
like, hey, cool. Look at that hawk. Did you know hawks?
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
okay, Jim.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that he said
But this
that
is cool.
all of their what did he say in that first one? Oh yeah, neurons are in its arms so that
Right.
each of its arms can do a different thing.
Yeah, like total
That'd be
dexterity.
real
Well, people
nice.
say that octopi, which is another fact here, actually,
Yes.
octopuses is the technical plurality of octopus, but octopi is also correct, is what they say.
Oh, so you technically aren't dumb and bad when you say octopuses.
No, I mean you're
Although it does
you're
sort of
vulgar,
sound
but
octopuses. That's like a
octopusi.
good sneaky one you can throw it on the radio.
Yeah.
Get around those FCC regs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
I feel like YouTube would probably
Flag you for that.
flag you for that though. But
And not to
yeah.
mention a really good like Southern pie shop.
Right. And here's a random
Octopi.
I also don't like as I've been looking at this bot and I'm just trying to make sense of if the bot is a real bot because it's kind of insane they could also post an image that just says cool picture of a blue-ringed octopus.
Yeah. Wait,
Because-
how do we know? How do we make sure it's a bot? You can.
Well,
right?
you can I think if you click the user I'll click on the username. I mean if you click the username and just go through, but it looks like I mean again like all right, so creation of our Animal Facts bot. First of all, I wanted to thank everybody for the awesome feedback I've gotten. The bot has reached 1,000 followers and has been running nonstop for 5 months, and I finally got some time to truly work on it. I've decided to create Animal Fact bot for multiple reasons. Oh, so there's a subreddit dedicated to Animal Fact bot.
Interesting.
I will make it easier for users to discuss the bot, tell me about bugs, and even give suggestions about the bot. I will make it easier for me to get information as they will all be in the same place. It will be I will be able to use many advantages that a subreddit have over profile posts like wiki discussions, etc. So it is a real bot. Because I kind of do this for a living, right? It's like I'm a writer, but I tend to write for bots and things like that. That's like one of my favorite kinds of projects because it's a complete deconstruction of how language works. You have to think about the trapdoors and like the things that you can and can't say because if you like propose a question, like if a bot is talking to you and it proposes a question, your answer, the bot will not understand.
Right.
Like you're kind of fucking yourself
yeah,
when you're doing
you need
that.
to be able to like process simple.
Yeah, you have to be able to write very simple phrases and then understand how to process them because bots don't usually have memory. There's like
Right.
really, really complicated bots have like a little bit of a memory, but when you think about the way that we deconstruct phrases, like I can mention Rick Astley again,
Yeah.
knowing that you guys are going to understand that we're talking about that thing from like earlier in the episode.
And the bot
but-
would just be like, Rick Astley is
Exactly.
a singer.
They would
I'm
never.
not
They would
sure.
never know.
God.
They would
On
never know because they don't
Wikipedia,
remember
it said,
that.
God, this
And
friend
it
is
can
so
go in
stupid.
so many different directions because we
Yeah.
could have gone from the Rick Astley thing to there's so many
It's
different
almost like
pieces,
choose
right?
your own adventure writing, where you're like, fuck, I have to write for every
Exactly,
possibility.
exactly.
So like,
That's why it's so impossible to create a robot that's anywhere
That's
near.
sentient. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't
Well,
create
it's
it.
not impossible, but we're not even close.
Well, you can fake. There are ways to trick people, but it's impossible. Like that's why all bots are designed to do very specific tasks. Like so, a bot playing chess knows how to play chess because you can give it all of the math equations of what a chess game is like. But the act of conversation is so complicated that you just can't program a bot to be able to have a conversation because the way we have conversations is
especially on this podcast.
especially on this
Yeah.
podcast, but they're so referential, and that's just the nature
Yeah.
of how we talk. So anyway, the reason I bring all that up is like when you're looking at how this bot works, like you're seeing this thing like chimpanzees are our closest relatives. Like where are they pulling that fact from, right? Like we see the wiki, right, which is great, but then like that's an arbitrary fact to be pulling up,
Right.
and then Yeah, so each of them, it seems like it ends with cool picture of chimpanzee. So it's
So he wrote that code.
yeah. So now seeing this, you're seeing the formula, right? You're seeing there's literally facts, and then each of them ends with a
Cool picture
of right,
Alligator snapping turtle. Ooh,
right. So
feels like a Rickroll waiting to happen.
it is actually that would see, and that's why I love this kind of stuff too, is because you could easily program that to be a
Yeah.
Rickroll. Like anytime you mention somebody in the primate category, the picture is always a Rickroll, which would be a really funny. That's a very Reddit
really
thing to do,
funny
right?
to know that the animal fact bot is like a little fucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a little
Sometimes
mischievous,
Rickroll.
mischievous little bastard.
He's a little poop.
He's a little pooper.
But isn't that? I mean, it's so interesting because I mean, especially as a father, Freed, it's like you know, there's the idea.
Let me tell you about wisdom.
the idea of programming a thing, right, which is essentially what you're doing every day.
I was like
right?
stressing out about. I woke up in the middle of the night, like I was just like up, baby, and I started thinking about like, this is what parents always think about. It's like we could probably be doing better.
Yeah.
Probably be like programming this thing cleaner, better, more
Better,
effective.
stronger,
Yeah,
more efficient.
So I started injecting him with a new chemical,
Oh my God, performance enhancing
performance
drug.
enhancing layered shrooms.
Oh my God, yes.
Start giving him intravenous shrooms.
Yeah, but you are programming
Charlie
this
walks
thing.
in, he's like 5'8" now, like a little, but not muscly at all. He's just taller.
It's just-
This shit's weird. I don't know if you should be fucking with his normal growth
his bones
pattern.
are just like rubbery,
but that is, I mean, that is
like an
that's-
octopus.
That's what you do. So my little brother also had a baby a couple days ago. Shout out Sam and Carly. Congratulations.
What's that
on,
little baby's name?
Henry?
That's
Winslow?
Hank, dude. Hank.
Henry Winslow.
They had another name pulled out, and I was like, bro,
This is a good
go
one.
Henry Winslow, dude. There's another one, and you could beat the shit out of him.
They'll never cross paths.
Yeah,
No, he goes by Maxwell Thomas.
Whoa.
Maxwell.
Maxwell's a slamming name, and we had a German foreign exchange student when my brother was a junior and senior in high school. I think.
Yeah.
Name was Maxwell.
His name was Max. He's a fucking great dude. So I think that was part of it, but also just Max is
It's a classic
banging name.
cool boy's name. That kid's always gonna like have the first buck knife, you know.
Yeah, and then like
In the group.
being referenced as Mad Max is like a cool nickname. It's an unavoidable. It's one of those things where like your name is Max, people are gonna call you Mad Max. It's just dumb idiots that are not creative are gonna call you that. But then it's like a great nickname. You know what I mean?
It
And then when you're
is.
upset, they're gonna call you Sad Max. Like,
Sad
what are you,
Max.
Sad Max?
Oh yeah.
Sax
Shut
Max
up.
if he takes
Oh,
that.
that's true.
Oh, when he gets into the
Yo,
saxophone, which is
saxophone.
inevitable.
Yo, Sax Max.
Yeah,
Sax
Sax
Max.
Max.
That's the coolest shit ever.
That is pretty baller. He should get that tattoo now.
He definitely should.
I think at this point it would be a branding, right? I don't think you can tattoo a child. I think you have to.
You
brand
get
him.
it this
Put a hot
small because
coal.
he's a baby, but then
Yeah.
it stretches and grows into this disgusting looking horn by
Oh,
the time he's
did he
20.
circumcise his? Does Max have a penis foreskin?
We haven't talked about that yet.
You
but
guys
I will
should
bring that up.
zoom it. You know, zoom it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. That's a good. That's a
Let's loop 'em in.
next episode. We can do that.
I'd like to loop him in.
I'd
Well,
like to
where
loop
do
him
you
in.
guys
What does
stand?
that
What's
mean?
your stance on that?
Are you
We're
asking? Are
circumcised.
you asking about our?
I'm
penises? Or are you
circumcised.
asking
Not
about- okay.
I'm circumcised
I don't-
and I circumcised
I
my
love
kid.
that. That was a weird like Me Too
So
moment
how are
where
your
Dog
dicks?
Boob's just like, so what do you?
What's your
What's
dick
your
like?
guys' opinion on
The difference is,
circumcision?
I don't think
Well,
most guys would give a shit about. I like it for
Right,
guys.
like
I could
growing
just
up,
it just
they're
you,
not
you just
gonna-
grow up and it was like that.
Yeah,
it was never
exactly.
a choice or anything. So
Well, also it's like a religious thing. So it's like even as a parent, I would be like,
I think
I
it's
don't
a
care.
it's a health thing.
Is it?
more than I think it
used to
initially
be a
was a
religious
religious
thing,
thing,
right.
but it got adopted as a health thing.
And now that's
But
been
now
defunct-
that's like baloney. They're like it doesn't, because
Like
we
just teach
shower.
your kid to clean out his smegma.
Yeah, dude, if you
know?
lived in a cave for 30 years and never hit the showers, you could get bacteria in there. But like we got Dr.
take-
Bronner's, we got Dr. Everything.
We got Dr. Everything. We got Jergens.
We got Jergies.
as soon as
got
Dr. Bronner's came to be,
You didn't need a
circumcision
was defunct.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was defunct.
I had a cousin. I have a
That's so
cousin, and I
funny.
won't say his name because I've got like 30 cousins. But
Right.
he was not circumcised as a baby because
Cool.
he was
Yeah, the anteater.
Yeah, but he was he had so many health issues as a baby that
Cool.
his parents were just like, we don't even want to put him through more pain.
The
So they decided
the dick
not
is
to?
the last thing he's got.
Yeah.
Marge,
Let him keep it. But
Yeah.
he grew up and ended up getting it as an adult
Ooh.
because he
Are
was
you
made
fucking
fun
kidding
of.
me?
Yeah. I've heard a lot of those stories.
Yeah.
Like a
and it was
teenagers.
horrible.
My wife Jill's like knew a guy.
Yeah.
in college.
Okay.
69.
Woo!
But there was a guy on some team that they were friends with who like got it in college and like had
Yeah.
to go away
Yeah.
for like a
And then
couple
what
of
are you-
weeks during Christmas vacation.
Oh
Can you
God, I'm
imagine
just
the
like
pain of
really
like
painful.
scabbing and the healing while you're getting boners every morning?
that is
Hell of bones.
the worst
Idea.
possible thing.
That feels like a good premise for a comedy movie. Like
But you know, yeah. Adult.
I know you all like no it doesn't,
Right.
but I'm like
No, it actually
no, it's
is.
actually great.
so much
And he
built
falls in
and
love with his
embarrassing.
nurse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Lucinda.
So there is a trend. I'm sure you know about this because you're like
trend?
the professional bro, the professional like you know everything about bro culture.
Sure do, dude. I got Gorilla Bells. I got.
You can't create
Fuck
the show
yeah.
Workaholics and not be a professional bro.
Thank you.
Not.
Thank
We know what college you went
Thank
to.
you.
We know.
The sad part is
you
like-
create a workaholic.
There's so many more bros than like I'm like somewhere on the low end.
Yeah,
of
you
bro.
were first generation, and now all the bros after you have built on your legacy.
Yeah.
You're like baseball after Babe Ruth. Like Babe Ruth.
I don't
now-
even lift, dude.
Babe
I
Ruth
don't even
now
lift.
would have been like, all right, you know, but he was the greatest at the time. So you're one of the greatest bros of all time.
Yeah, you're
but
just
every
classic.
bro
Played baseball.
after this,
I played football.
every bro after this has built on your legacy.
Yeah.
That's right. It's
So-
they've co-opted it.
Exactly.
Do you know I started my first website was called fifthyear.com
Really?
and Barstool Sports have now taken Fifth Year. Like that's actually been taken from me.
That's
And
amazing.
Just because we let it die. We didn't do
Right, of
anything with
course.
it. But I'm like, I still have old friends that are like, is this you? And I'm like, no, I wish it was because they'll probably make a lot of money off of it. But like,
well, that is also like
that was like early bro stuff that I was part of.
That's
So
amazing.
I guess I'm recovering bro. is
You're
that what it is?
recovering, bro. Yeah. So I think the reason I brought that
I
up
jog.
is because there one thing in bro circles, but I actually do think it's brilliant, is when men schedule their vasectomies around March Madness.
Oh my God, they do.
I've
Yeah.
never heard of this. Although a lot of my friends have got them, and like we all talk about it.
Yeah. So men schedule their vasectomies around March Madness so that they end up getting a bunch of guys get vasectomies together and then they like rent a house and recover and watch March Madness.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's like a very funny but kind of charming thing actually. You
Yeah.
know?
I think that's adorable.
Yeah.
There's a Stacy version of that probably that has to do with like lifting things post multiple kids.
Oh,
Oh,
must
yeah.
be.
Okay.
I don't even know if this is a thing, but I'm just like connecting the dots. Like,
Oh yeah.
Let's connect these dots.
I think if you lift things right after having like a litter
when
of
you're
like
done with
5,
kids, you can be like, maybe I'll chop off
yeah.
a hip.
Maybe I'll chop off a hip.
I like that. I like that that evolution in the terms of. So all right, so let's get back to the front page a little bit. So there's
Wait, if I'm a bro, what are you? Just to categorize us all into like
My,
very neat boxes.
my
I'm resident bro.
You're
We know
resident
dog boobs is
bro.
resident female.
Yeah, resident
There's
female.
no other nuance.
No, bro, anarchist, long hair, and then
I like that.
female.
Actually, my employees
Take
at
off your
work,
flamethrower, dude. We're podcasting.
the people. I'm actually. It's funny you say that because my mask today says banjos against fascism.
Oh yes.
So I have an anti
Oh,
I have an
man.
Antifa face mask.
banjos.
That's so fucking West Virginia.
It is very
dude.
West Virginia. I got it from a group called Queer Appalachia, which I love.
Perfect.
But so my
That's a
employees at work
kick-ass-
call me Goth Boss.
Goth boss.
So they so I'm and I had like an argument with them yesterday.
Are these
about
like the
this, 'cause I was-
younger kids? Like they're like 29, which is like feels like
Yeah.
a totally different generation,
Totally.
which is crazy.
Yeah. But I told them I was like, guys, I'm not goth. I'm a fucking Hesher.
Yeah.
Like I'm
get
like
your
yeah.
shit straight.
Get
Yeah.
your shit straight. I'm a fucking
Goth.
Hesher. Like I like death
Metal.
metal
Yeah,
instead
Hesher
of I don't
metal.
listen to The Cure. I listen to fucking Cannibal Corpse. You know.
But they don't even
So-
know what those are.
I think they
Are
get
they
it,
are they
but-
They
more like
definitely Googled it fast.
right?
Are they like normcore, like tech generation, like no labels, just like kind of robotic? Is that sort of this
Or they
generation's
little
thing?
cool bros who button their collared shirts all
Oh,
the way
yeah.
to the
Fuck
top
that,
and wear
dude.
small brimmed hats.
I'm all about
They're
showing my chest hair.
tropical-
Chest
They're
hair.
definitely not either of those. They're actually I can say that the people that I work with, the people in my department are all lovely people and are
Wonderful.
a pretty labyrinthine bunch. Like they're kind of hard to paint with a single brush,
I
honestly.
think that's
So
great.
yeah, there's a few.
Dude, that was the most Kellyanne Conway answer I've ever heard.
I know. Well, it's true. I mean, I have. Let's see. I have technically 6 people in my department, and 5 of which are women, and they're tend to be very social
All
justice.
right, Koresh, dude. Whoa.
They're very social justice aware,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Is there not an offensive term for that? I mean,
for social justice aware?
yeah, aware feels like not warrior. It feels like
Well, but they're
softer.
not. I wouldn't call them social justice warriors. They're intelligent,
Yeah.
aware people.
That which
So-
just feels like the new status quo, like the new normal.
Good.
No,
I mean,
I'm not
I hope,
complaining.
yeah.
The generations are more sensitive to
Yeah.
things than even mine. I mean, it's only been like
Yeah.
it's like 10-year gap.
Well, I think there was a different sensitivity because I mean, lest we
Definitely.
forget that there was a time when the Vietnam War and shit was the thing. Right?
When we were graduating high school.
Yeah, exactly. When we were graduating high school. But I think that I don't know. I mean, there's a collective. I think the boomers have done more psychological damage than we realize. Honestly, like I mean, it sounds like as is the trend of me being a complete ageist.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not. This is not necessarily an ageist thing. I'm saying that the psychology of the boomer mentality, I think, is also trickled down into other generations where like the millennials go, yeah, fuck that. You guys ruined the housing market. And then every generation below us is a little bit more militant where they're just like we're not going to stand for your shit. We don't have respect for elders anymore. Right. And then the generation below them are like,
Kill everyone over 60.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the generation below them are kind of like, we're just going to take it. Don't even we're not even going to ask.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's really interesting. So,
I'm already confused.
yeah. All right. Back to the front page. So,
I saw this really funny thing that it's just a quick meme that I sent
Cool.
to you guys.
do you want to send it over? Can you send it to me? Or did you already send it to me?
I texted it to you guys.
All right, cool.
It's from a subreddit I follow, which is very negative. It's called
Antinatalism?
antinatalism. It's just don't have.
That's shitting on kids.
It's like basically like for people who don't want to have kids, but it's like a family can be 10 dads. That's it. Just 10 dads with no kids.
I love that. 10 tats and no kids.
And then it shows this framed picture of like 10 dads in these little denim suits.
Do you guys kind of feel like that's in a way? I mean, you have children now, so it's different.
You guys
but,
can
like,
shit on children. I'm not.
I'm kind of over
don't hold
shitting
back
on children.
on my account.
Because I think also like now that I'm an uncle, I'm a changed man. But no, I like, hang out with Charlie and like, I have a couple friends. But the thing is, I have very, very close guy friends. And, my girlfriend and I are pretty like, we're not anti-kids, but we're kind of like, we don't need to have kids, especially now and whatever, right? Like I don't think we have gone
Especially
through
now because the world's falling apart.
well, especially now because the world's falling apart, but also we just don't
You got your PS5 coming out.
when the PS5 is coming out, I mean, who has time for kids? You know?
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, that is a good reason. Like, if you really love playing PS5,
Right.
Yeah.
don't have kids.
Well, and this is the thing is like there's
Unless your kid comes out 14 and ready to hesh with you.
Seriously, adopt an 18-year-old.
Get a 17-year-old.
My girlfriend has
Yeah.
said that
Get one
before.
hot year
One hot year
of hashing and
only
gaming.
fun gaming.
and then say, good luck.
And then I'll see you every holiday for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
we'll
we'll do
argue
this
about
again.
politics.
We're gonna adopt a kid in like April of his like senior year of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
just
like,
to,
we got you for 2.5 months. Be like, where'd you say you were going to college again?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, tight. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
The kid's like,
peace
wait,
out,
you're paying
I
for
guess.
it, right?
Yeah.
Dad?
so sad.
I know.
Because there's probably kids that need to be adopted that are like in their teenage years.
Yeah,
Oh,
did you
for
hear
sure.
about Sia, the
obviously.
singer? Sia.
What happened to her?
You know Sia,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
She
Sia, the faceless person, right? She got a burn on her face or something.
Yeah, she adopted 2 teenage boys who were aging out of foster care.
Oh, amazing.
Because she thinks,
That's
quote,
cool.
everybody deserves a family, and they were about to just grow out of the system, and literally, that's it. You never get a family then.
Dude,
so
that's
she
so
adopted those
fucking
2.
crazy.
I literally love it. They're
Yeah.
both finding it difficult, one more than the other, but they're both doing things that they're really that
Good news, bad
are
news.
like really good for them right now.
Well, I think
We got you a
I
mom.
love it.
The weird news
It's
is that she
Sia,
doesn't
and
have a
she's
face.
millionaire.
Right.
She has no
But
face and millions of dollars.
she's got a tennis court. You're like, I think I'm with this.
yeah.
I mean, it's
That's something I could see myself like maybe doing. I'm very selfish, so maybe
Yeah.
not. But
You got it.
maybe
You're good with
when I'm, like,
dogs.
50,
It's a step.
yeah.
well, but I think that there's. I mean, I've been thinking about this a lot with the coronavirus and the Black Lives. Actually, more Black Lives Matter and everything that's been going on with protests is everybody has to figure out their personal reason for that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this last pod, right, where it's like when I was thinking about donating and kind of the contribution, I think a lot about Appalachia because I'm from there and it has its own weird fucking problems. So I was like, well, how do I contribute to that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the idea of child rearing, bearing, etc. There's some people are like, I need my genes to go, right? And keep this fucking train a rolling.
yeah.
I don't really subscribe to that idea. So I'm kind of like,
I don't know if that's what people think, although it's built into everybody's DNA.
Yes.
I think you have to think the opposite of that.
I've actually thought that.
I think there are like the LeBrons out there that are
Right.
like, I got this kick-ass DNA. I want to spread it. That's cool. And I
Yeah.
gotta be the same. I'm like, dude,
well, and
kid's
like,
gonna be
and fucking douchey, like Richard McGuire the Sixth, and you're just like,
You're gonna
Or
put that
Richard Gere,
bloodline
too.
in.
or Richard Gere.
handsome.
But the reason I bring that up is because I also think that there's also like if you are living a certain way until you're in your late 40s or whatever, and you know that the way you're a businesswoman or you're a businessman, you're like, I really just want to focus on my fucking shit. I want to retire when I'm 50. I want to get the shit out of the way.
But then
Adopting later
what?
is also okay. Well, I agree with that, and that's
Because like
also
just
part of
making
the,
money, I mean, it's the one thing you realize like your perspective shifts. I think with kids, you're like,
right.
oh yeah, money is like great, but it ends up being great. It's greater to give, like, or to support your kids
Yeah.
with, or something like that. Like going cigarette boating every weekend when you're
Cigarette boating.
55. I think doesn't have as much.
Well, I'm pretty
impact.
sure when you have a kid, you don't have to stop cigarette boating.
No, you put them on the front of the boat.
Exactly.
And you
Exactly.
cigarette boat right
That's what I'm
past
saying.
the
Yeah.
ladies on the dock. That's
Who wants to
Wait.
have, who wants to have another one of these little boys with me?
Honestly, I've had the thought, even though I know it's just evolutionary, like in our DNA, of like, wow, that is kind of trippy to think like
it.
my bloodline like kind of stops with me.
Yeah,
Because I don't know if my brother's gonna have kids either, and then. But
should
like,
put your-
I don't care. Like, I
Yeah.
logically don't care about that. Like, sorry, Clensington. I'm sure he
Yeah.
would love to see that Republican bloodline. keep
I mean,
going. But I'm like,
I just think the idea of raising children is a profound thought that I like the idea of, but I also am totally, at least at this point in my life, because I do think about that too. Like my quest in life is not monetary. My quest is like
It
I really
ends up being that because it's fun.
Well,
it's like a game. You're
but
like, let's
I
just
like-
keep making money and
But I
buying.
like making things. That's like the
Yeah.
thing. That's why we do this podcast. That's why I like
Oh, yeah.
writing. Like, so my whole
well,
thing
the
is
ultimate
like
thing you could make
I
is
like
a
to-
child.
is a fucking Hank.
comfortable.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why I shouldn't have a kid. I like being comfortable.
Right.
I like to sleep and do whatever I want.
Yeah, but
All
that's
the
that's a
time.
good reason to not
great
have a
reason
kid,
to not have a
honestly.
kid.
Yeah.
And I think that tends
Do
to
not
be
have
my thing. Is like
kids.
I like the idea of raising a kid and helping a kid have a better understanding of the world by the way that I think
Yeah.
about the world, right?
Yeah.
In whatever I want to share with that, but I also
bot.
understand. Yeah,
A bot.
A Ben bot.
I also understand that it's really like there are a lot of children with very, very poor families. Not
Yeah.
poor, not monetarily poor, but like bad families,
Yeah.
like that are abusive or despondent or whatever. Like, have you guys seen the Florida Project?
Is it to get?
No,
Is it to cut
I
Florida
remember
off?
when
You
it came
guys
out.
have to see the Florida Project.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
the
is-
movie.
It's one of my favorite films ever, and it's a absolutely beautiful, very sad story.
That's why I haven't got around to it.
But
I'm
it's
just
not.
like,
But it's not like 12 years a slave type thing. It's not like
Okay.
you watch it and you're just like, oh my god, I'm so depressed. It's like it's a very very charming story and it's
Yeah.
very beautifully told. But you know, it's about poverty in Florida and
Yeah.
like a bad family essentially, and
Yeah.
and it's all through the lens of like childhood naivety, I guess, naivete. So, but anyway, the reason I bring all that up is like you do think about these kids who like don't know any better, who just need help, and
I think there's
need
a
somebody
lot.
to raise them, and I like that idea, but I want to be able to do that when I'm like, it's different when you have a kid and you're like, this is my kid, this is the seed, right? Versus when you're like, I am packed with knowledge that I want to share. And
Yeah.
I want to do that with some of today's youth by
So
helping
you
somebody.
see,
Right?
I don't.
I don't disagree. I don't
No,
agree. Yeah.
I think most guys like think the same way as you're probably doing, and maybe women too. But women, I think, are actually have a different biological thing going on than guys with kids, as it pertains to kids. But like, I was not being like, I want kids now. Like,
Right,
it was just
right.
like, I could have waited till. You can always come up with a good excuse to not
For
have
sure.
kids. You'd be
For
like,
sure.
no, I got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Got a whole system. Got my day organized. I like to take.
Yeah.
I used to take like hour and a half long walks to get coffee.
But babe, the PS5 is coming out in
PS5 is coming out. I'm thinking about buying one of those houses in Italy for $1. I can't do that if I have a kid.
You could definitely do that if you have a kid.
So you can always say that, but then you have a kid and you're like, oh yeah, this is what I was supposed to do. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's almost like you can't like plan for it. Just like
Everybody
but it
says
feels
that.
totally natural. I
Yeah.
know, and I'm not even trying to explain it to you, like, because it's like moot. It's like stupid, but
Well, but the older.
always-
I felt the same way you just described. It's like I'm gonna wait till like everything's lined
I
up.
Yeah.
totally
you know?
get that. And
But
from a
it's-
Trevor, my dog standpoint, I always thought after I got my dog that I'm like, you're never going to be 100% ready.
Right.
What does that even mean?
You know?
You have like a kennel?
You're like, I was just like, he was running rampant.
I love it.
He had Giardia when I adopted him. And so he was shitting his pants and like,
You were
he's
just
a
in it.
dog with like long fur on his
Right.
butt that I call his pants.
Right.
So he'd be like diarrhea.
Oh man,
Love it.
you're just
And I
in
was
there.
just like,
Precious.
fuck, what have I got myself into?
You just
But-
gotta roll up your sleeves and you gotta clean that dog's poop.
Exactly. You kind of just have to be like, well, I'm in it.
I love
See,
the idea.
I'm like a parent. I know what it's like to raise kids. I've got a
It is.
I
dog.
love the
kinda-
idea of somebody being like, you're never 100% ready, and then they see the guy and be like, you don't have a crib? You don't have any of this? You got to be like
A little bit.
30% ready at least,
You gotta
you
be
know?
at least 20% ready.
Make an effort at least.
You actually don't really need a crib for a little while, but you need a box. I
love it.
You need
So
a
you
drawer.
you're telling me you don't have any diapers or like food or anything? You don't,
I mean,
so
you're gonna
there's,
need-
you need to be like at least like 7% ready.
yeah.
Yeah.
You will need food
couple
and some diapers,
Yeah.
and I'll just say it, a blanket too.
Go ahead with the blanket.
The hospital will give you some of that stuff for free.
Right. All right, so let's talk more on the front page. I know that we are. This is why you're listening, huh? Because you like the sequiturs. All right, so what else we got on the front page? Do you guys have anything that you're particularly smitten by? I have a few other things I thought were kind of compelling.
I'm digging this. I think it's on mine. It's 2 down, but this is the worst photo of me ever taken. I
love
my,
this.
My screen just went away, but you
I
can
saw
read the
that.
comments just like devolve into like a good
Right.
Reddit. It just feels very Reddit.
So,
And,
So
like-
let's talk about this photo.
Yeah, it's.
What makes this photo so
I've looked
good?
at it now. Like I keep going back to it, being like, oh yeah, that's funny.
I mean, what I love about this photo, this photo is layers.
So
right?
you got to describe it
So
To all of
it is
our-
a woman in the water.
in a pool.
So in the pool, right? And she looks
she's in the shallow end on her knees.
is she on her knees, you
I
think?
think
yeah,
so.
she is
Yeah.
because she has no feet.
Yeah, no feet.
So-
and like the water, looking through the water at a certain
It distorts.
angle.
It
It distorts
distorts
her
everything.
body.
So she looks she has no feet. She looks like she's probably a
feet
little
tall.
person, if you will. But she also, the thing I love about this photo is she has her arms crossed in like a Karen dismay, right?
Yeah, she's got the look of like those cool kids at the end of the pool are having a good time. Not even
Silent
invited.
judgment. Silent judgment,
tons of-
exactly.
like we've all probably been in a high school situation where you're like, God, I wish I was over there with those
Yeah.
kids. They're having a great time.
So here she has her thick club trunk legs.
Everyone's
just
got
like-
ices. You didn't get $5 from your parents. You're like, God damn it.
But this is funny because there's such a fine line between sad and funny, right? So like
This doesn't feel sad because I think it's just a moment of time.
right.
This is
and
not
her
her
expression. Like her expression, the top comment is her expression sells it because like
Yeah, totally.
this is the expression of somebody who like is a bit of a troll, not like a kid who's like nobody likes me, which is devastating. Like that shit is so sad to me.
Yeah.
It
But,
seems like she's got her shit together.
yeah, this just looks like somebody who's like
She's in a
smoked
pool.
too many cigarettes.
I love her.
You know what actually this reminds me of? Have I told you about this is an insane story, but when I was in Romania and I
Were you trying to buy one of those kids? It's all coming around.
First, this just came to me, and I don't know if I haven't thought about this in a long time. But when I was in Romania, I had to hitchhike to meet a Peace Corps volunteer, right?
Okay.
In the middle of rural Romania.
Oh, boy.
So I get dropped off on the side of the highway by a fucking public bus, right? And they were literally like, "This is where you're dropping off," and I was just like, "Here," and it was like I got out and it was just like a field and a road, right? And
You
I was
had
just
your
like,
rucksack with you, and
I had a backpack. I was backpacking.
did you have a jug of water and some
Damn.
peanuts or anything?
Didn't have anything like that. yeah.
Wow.
So I had to hitchhike into this town to meet this guy. I get there and he's not there. Right.
No.
And I'm just like, fuck.
Why would he be there?
This is insane. so I went to this restaurant in town. There was like one big restaurant. I was like, I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna like have a beer and just fucking a salad and chill.
The Denny's of town.
Right.
They're like,
and
nice try. Here's borscht.
right. Exactly.
and
So
buffalo piss vodka.
And here's a life of sex slavery. Come with
exactly.
us.
And so I was sitting at this table. It was a massive. So in Romania, they have, because of the communist era,
Yeah.
they have all these areas that are like way more ostentatious than it needs to be for what it is. And this is one of those things. It was like a banquet hall, but it was also just like a tiny restaurant, but it was in the size of a banquet hall. So it was like nobody was there. There were like 6 people in the whole restaurant, but like enough room for 600.
That's
right?
very coronavirus now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like,
And so I sat down at this table by these 2 girls. They clearly knew I was they had no business being there. Like a random American in a relatively small town, whatever. So I started talking to them. One of them spoke English great. And
that's lucky.
I know. And her sister did not speak English, right? Her like looked like a barely younger sister. But as we were talking, I was like, she had mentioned, she's like, oh yeah, I speak my English is good for my job. I was like, what is your job? She was like, oh, I'm a cam girl.
Oh, she just led with that.
Well, I had asked her why her English was so good.
Yeah,
And-
but she could say, "I work at a bank."
She could have said that.
Maybe
but
there's no puritanical shame around
I
it.
actually
Yeah,
don't. I actually
exactly.
don't think there is. I think you're right. I think the culture there is like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a cool job.
well, it's a
Cam
really
girl. A lot of money.
I mean, for
Yeah.
a second, third world country, it's probably a pretty good living. So anyway, so she had said that, and then like we had this chat, and I was like, that blew my
Probably moved
mind.
there.
But then as like she got up to leave, they were
So
like,
wait,
all right, good
pause.
meeting you.
Was she pretty good looking?
No, her sister was good looking.
Got
But
it.
Cam girl
she was
herself
not.
was like,
Yeah. So she got up and started to walk away, and she was a midget or a little person, I guess.
Okay.
And so that like fucking blew my mind. It like literally was like this photo where I was
Wow.
like she got up to leave. I was like, all right, it was good meeting you, and I was just like, whoa, ah, ha.
wow.
Yeah, and I literally did not know until she got up to leave.
Okay.
And it was absolutely like my mind exploded, you know?
Wow.
Because I was in the middle of I just hitchhiked there. And you know when you're like out of your depths, all of your like mental synapses are on high alert. So
Yeah.
every little thing is suddenly a little bit funnier, or a little bit weirder, or a little bit scarier or whatever. And so that was one of those things where like a series of like, whoa, you're Cam girl? That's crazy. In my mind, I'm just like, what a weird story. And then like that happened. I was just like,
But
what?
you're a little person, Cam girl.
Dude, and then the guy eventually called me because I had tried to call him. I couldn't get a hold of him. He called me back. He was like, oh, dude, sorry. I was taking a shit. And I was just like, what is
So were
this
you supposed to
What
meet at
is
like a
going
coffee shop or like a bus
on?
stop or
No, at his house.
it was house?
Yeah.
Oh, and you like knocked on the door, no answer.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was just taking like a real deep one.
Totally. And he was like a workaholics bro. He was like a fucking, he had like a,
Peace Corps workaholics, bro. A new paradigm.
yeah.
Wow.
But he was like the broiest guy on the planet. And yeah, he had like a huge like Iowa State flag or something that was just like sitting over his banister at his apartment.
Iowa State, Broy place.
Yeah, so something like that. But it was a surreal
think they
thing. And it
invented-
reminds me of this photo for whatever reason.
Okay, so this girl is Romanian midget.
Little person, I think.
Is
I
that?
don't know.
Yeah.
I think evidently midget is offensive. I don't know when and how that happened, but I certainly respect the little
I
person.
respect it
Yeah.
too, because if I were a little person, I certainly wouldn't like being called a midget.
So there's so many.
I'll call whatever anybody wants to be called. I don't. It's no offense. No offense intended.
Yeah, I don't care calling people what they want to be called. All right, other important news. We don't need to get into this because this is definitely Kathy and Hodaland, but Supreme Court, they ruled that workers cannot be fired for being gay and transgender, which quite frankly is a surprise. I feel like the Supreme Court, despite, and maybe this is because we are in a corrupt nation where everything is
Yeah.
falling apart, but the Supreme Court has had a shocking amount of integrity lately.
Yeah.
Like DACA and this.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. And
Like
then
you would think that they
I think
because it's still a conservative
Yeah.
leaning court
it
right now.
is.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that like at least there's a little hope left that they are judges and they do understand like, you know,
right.
you're there to make decisions based on the law.
Once you're in, you can't be fired,
Right.
and all you have is your legacy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think politics, like who got you there,
Right.
is out the window, which feels real nice.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you'd be like, I don't have to like pay back any of those favors. I'm
Right.
here now. Fuck everybody. But every decision moving forward, look, Brown versus Educate, whatever, like any big court education, your name will always be referenced.
Right.
Ah.
So you
right.
better fucking watch like how you. So it's a big goddamn deal.
Yeah,
And so I
that's
think they
true.
all know what the right decision is,
Right.
or like obviously I think they chose right in both cases,
Right.
which is great. And part of doing that is like for the next 50, 100, if America's around in 100 years, like they're going to be referenced. And
Right,
so it's
right.
like,
Yeah, I
you know,
mean,
it's that also.
And I also wonder if there's just an element of
Takes away the corruption, I think.
Yeah,
a
and
little
also just this is kind of technically this is our American government at work. Like we have watched the executive branch and the legislative branch completely fall apart. Like the worst fucking branding in the world.
Yeah.
They're just bad, right? But the judiciary
bit. Yeah.
is kind of the last stronghold of the original American idea of checks and balances.
We are a nation of laws.
And so hopefully if they kind of have the integrity they should be having, then these things hopefully will happen, right? Because like DACA, if it is, constitutionally incorrect, great. Keep the Constitution in check. If firing somebody because they're gay or transgender is objectively constitutionally wrong, right?
Yeah.
So knowing that they have kept that up is fucking good for obvious reasons. So granted, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is always on the fritz. So hopefully she continues.
I think we're in. I don't know if you remember when Obama was on his way out. He was trying to appoint.
Right.
What was his name?
Merrick Garland.
Merrick Garland. And then your boy, bitch McTitties McConnell.
Definitely my boy. Love him. love him.
I call him my Kentucky stallion.
The thing I like to think about, the first word that comes to my head when I think about Mitch McConnell
Yeah.
is virality.
Yeah, exactly.
He is one virile stag, if you ask me.
I always picture him in his no-haired chest, sweaty, like
And his
making love.
Can you imagine him
face.
taking off his shirt and he's just got like that, the latest season of
this look like him?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia when Mac becomes like a fucking supermodel.
Yeah, you're like, wow, Mitch. Like once again, we're wrong about you. Like,
Exactly.
we didn't know you're such a tank down there.
Yeah.
Does this look like him?
Yeah, that is.
Wait.
There's a sub called Bad Turtle No Lettuce. That's all about Mitch McConnell.
Bad,
So,
but
bad turtle, no lettuce.
I think we're approaching like election time where they could delay
Yeah, they'll pull
any
that
kind
shit
of
for sure.
appointment just as like a fuck you back.
They're
I mean,
going to
they're-
delay the
yeah.
election. Mark my words.
Oh, I think you might not
because
be
of
wrong.
because of COVID.
Yep.
How far?
9 months. No,
4 years.
4 years. I guarantee there's going to be some bullshit.
It
I
feels
don't-
like the
I don't think you're
bullshit's a
wrong.
brewing.
Yeah, it's pretty. Oh God, it's fucking tough.
It's exciting.
Very tough.
Exciting. We're living in a Bond movie.
We are living in a Bond movie. All right, so here's another one that I want to draw attention to. I find this one. This is interesting for a multitude of reasons. Let me pull it up. So, this is a public freakout, right?
Lots of public
Lots of public freakout, and there's a reason for this. So and I think this is something we're going to cover on a big hitter episode because it's something that has happened that I think I find very compelling.
Yes.
Public freakout is a very popular sub. It's become a stronghold for activism, right, against police brutality. There is another sub now called actual public freakout.
Oh.
That, from what I can tell, it was created as a kind of protest to the one-sided view on cops.
Okay.
And so a lot of the commenters in actual public freakout have right-wing troll tendencies.
Okay.
Right? And so it's a really interesting split, right? It's a really strange thing.
Public freakout.
Actual
Okay.
public freakout. But that's not, so the sub this post though is actually not from the protest. Which is, I think, part of what makes it interesting is it rose to the top. It's 139,000 upvotes, which is insane. I don't know the backstory on this, and I think that's something, I don't know where to find it, but there must be a backstory for it to have that many upvotes. But just to watch this through, so it's dude throws rocket car, instantly regrets it. So it's literally on the side of a highway.
I used to throw rocks at cars with my buddies.
Some
Did you used
random
to throw
schmuck.
rocks?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I would do it with way more cover than this guy has. I mean, this guy's just
Little rocks, though,
Just-
right,
yeah.
guys?
yeah. Not boulders for sure.
Dude, I mean, there's just a point in time when boys think it's smart to throw rocks
Right.
at everything.
Yeah.
It's not smart.
My
No, it's
brother
not.
and his
Oh,
friends threw
yeah.
berries.
So this
Very
guy,
innocent.
yeah, we threw a lot of plums too. So this guy hucks the rock at the car, hits it. The car flips a U-turn,
Right.
drives up on the sidewalk,
And just
runs the
decks
guy
him.
over.
Runs him over.
The
And
guy
then
like,
just continues on his way.
and then just goes about his day. Which
this looks like uniquely Russian to me. It looks like something that would happen
Yeah.
in Russia.
it feels like and you know what else feels Russian about it? Not only the guy does a U-turn, hits a human,
Right.
flips him. What else feels Russian is the guy kind of just gets up and walks away.
Yeah, totally.
There's a
Like
way we
Russians
can
are so
find
tough.
out.
They're like, yep, I deserved it.
There's a
I'm
way
gonna
we
go
can
back to
find
work.
out.
How do you find that out?
Look
Ooh,
at the license
IP.
plates.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Dude,
this is
don't
some-
fuck with cats over
It's
here.
English.
Yeah.
No, okay. There was listen to. This is great. There was a game I discovered online a while back that was geolocation.
Yeah, that's definitely not
Yes,
Europe.
It was
we
when
talked
we did
about this.
geocaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now whenever I see footage or videos or pictures and stuff, and I want to know where it is, I do my detective work. I'm like,
I just
license
thought-
plates, signs,
I have a new job
car
for you.
styles.
This is
You need
definitely
to
in America.
You
Actually,
need to
you're
partner
right.
up with a beaten down sort of alcoholic detective, and
Yes.
you're like
Right.
you're like the office detective who does all the hacking.
yeah.
Because you're like a cool girl who has tattoos.
Yeah, and he's
Listens to
lost
records.
his hunger for justice, but I'm like, God,
Yeah.
let me help.
Yes.
I think-
oh wow, this is
I
cool.
actually do often think about becoming a spy
Yeah.
or a private eye.
So does Charlie.
And my son does as well.
He's been watching a
He's
spy
3.
show recently.
does he want to partner up?
He
He
might
does.
be a good partner. Oh my God. In the public freakout
I know.
top of the week, there was a Oaxacan funeral where a
Right.
16-year-old young
Oh,
man
I love this.
was murdered
Yeah.
by the police. Evil, horrible.
Right.
But his friends, he was such
saw
a fan of football that his fans literally set up his coffin.
Right.
Like it's sweet, but also it's kind of hilarious to see.
It is kind of hilarious. I'm going to pull that video up so you guys can see.
Yeah. They angle it so that he can make one last goal, and they kick it against his coffin and it goes into the goal, and then they all just hug his coffin as one last we love you.
This made me uncomfortable.
It's
yeah.
strange, but I kind of love it.
Yeah, I mean,
good
it's certainly
friends.
adorable.
He's a kid.
I mean, there is a corpse in that box.
You know what
which
would
is
have been
weird, but
you know what would have been great is if the goalie stopped the ball.
And
Because
he's
I almost was like,
"Fuck yeah!"
I was like, get it, dive, and I'm like, wait a minute, Dom,
He could have done.
Wait a minute.
Cool your
Wait a
jets.
minute.
There's a funeral.
Yeah.
Stops it. Stops the ball. Get out of here. Get out of here, son.
It's just awkward to me, man. I'm like, oh man, just fucking awkward.
yeah. Well,
But
death
it
is
was
awkward.
interesting. I'll give him that. God damn.
Yeah. So the
Public
the,
freak out too. Oh,
The last thing I want to say about this dude throws rocks at car, because I feel like this is your modus operandi, Freed.
me? I'm
Yeah.
not. I mean, come on.
No, not the rock thrower, but the top comment is never count on some random member of the public not being crazier than you.
Oh, that is. Well, that's why you can't do anything to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good way to walk through life, to be honest. Like, you just don't know if a guy can roundhouse kick your head off
Right.
or is carrying a nunchuck.
Yeah.
Look at the one I just texted you guys. When my dumbass dog gets into some shit he's not supposed to.
No, I can't.
Fucking
Did your computer die or something?
You're controlling my screen, so
that's
I'm
right.
allowing you to.
Oh, I did see this. It's actually really funny.
So wait, when my
So when my dumbass dog eats something that what's the title?
When my dumbass dog eats something or gets into some shit he's not supposed to.
and what's happening?
Watch this.
No, I know, but I want you to describe.
Oh, okay. Well, what's happening is this dumbass kid. They're like college age guys.
Yeah, this is Barstool Sports. This is fifthyear.com.
Yeah, this
He,
is
like-
this. I know all these guys.
Yeah.
All these drunk dudes are in the kitchen. And this one guy reaches for a raw chicken breast and bites into it, and then all his friends grab his mouth like you do when a dog eats
Right.
something he shouldn't, and like pulls open his jaws and pulls the chicken out.
and he
So
he
funny.
won't let it go.
He won't let it
I mean,
And
this
then
is
he
literally
finally-
exactly what and it's also, by the way, the perfect TikTok. Like, this is what TikTok is for.
It
You know?
is.
And I don't know if you notice next to the chicken, there's a bottle of Fabulous, which is like a cleaning, like
Oh shit.
Is it? Oh, wow.
it's like a cleaning product. And I'm wondering if they were like drinking that or something too.
Fucking-
Just assuming.
God, I love.
Jesus. I
And Fabuloso,
love-
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't watch it now with some Fabuloso.
fucking love when dogs are like eat something and then you have to try to get it out of their mouth and they're like, no.
I mean, that's exactly what that kid did. And his friend also did the thing you do with a dog, where you put the two fingers on
you,
beside
like-
the molars.
and you give him like a
We're
look.
like, come
Yeah.
on.
That's a
Exactly.
good band name, or maybe like comic book strip. Raw chicken and Fabuloso.
Fabuloso.
That's a good.
Raw
There you go,
chicken
dude.
and Fabuloso.
Maybe.
Can you change the name of Pubes to that?
Yeah, maybe it's a different show.
Same show, but different concept, different name.
The poster commented, you got to put that food on top of the fridge. He's going to get into it again.
That's
So
funny.
amazing.
Okay, so what else do you want to hit on the front page? We got to close this boy out soon. I know we're kind
know.
of getting to the time limit.
Well, I already found my random. So I don't have anything to talk about other than my random, which I feel strongly about.
Oh, all right. Well, you can
incidentally.
save that one. Let's see if
Oh, there was a
there's-
funny Obama picture too that I thought was very cute and maybe makes us feel good.
So I
Drinking
actually.
a cup of water with one hand.
No,
Is
but
that true? Is that another? What a fucking monster.
what do you mean a cup of water?
He knows how to do it with one hand.
Because Trump cannot.
can
Trump
only
has to
do
do
it with two hands.
the weird two-hand thing. Yeah,
Trump's such a dummy.
such a wild. Wild.
We're
human.
so close to people and people in his cabinet just being like, "Yep, he's an idiot." Like,
a
like they're not saying it,
idiot.
although
Dude,
you can read on their
As
face.
soon as he is not president anymore, we are going to see every Republican come out and be like, "I hated him from the beginning." And
I
be
was
like,
actually
"You fucking did not,
thinking-
you monster." Yeah,
A couple things. If he does not become the president again,
right,
it would be great to run ads
right.
about him for the next 4 years, just
Oh,
about
love
how
it.
big of a piece of shit he is.
Great, love it.
I think we could start a fund for
Did
that.
you Reddit Super PAC? I think is what that's called.
Just like ripping on him,
Right.
Which I think would be so great. And then maybe even a statue. Like, I hate to say like put up a statue of the guy, but like remember the fat one with his little dick,
Right.
Like that's a cool statue we could erect. But then also the incoming president, do they have to post the painted photograph of the last president on like that hallway? I'm just assuming there's a hallway with all these pictures.
Well, yeah.
Can you take it down?
Pulled, or Trump pulled Obama's down.
Oh, cool. So then his will definitely be pulled down.
No one is gonna, dude.
I just didn't know if there was like
we
a
are
rule
going
or something.
Nobody wants to remember these 4 years.
No.
Nobody wants to remember these 4 years. So as soon as he's not president anymore, everybody is going to go like, "Holy shit, we were just trying to survive."
Time to
Thank
call
God,
Stanley
right.
Steamer and
Yeah.
get them in here for a deep clean.
So
Yeah.
So that would be
I'm just
yeah.
like I'm curious on all those little like nuances of how people are going to deal
Doesn't
with
the
getting rid of his
Obama
memory.
portrait Isn't that in the National Portrait Gallery?
It might be. So the reason we bring up this Obama photo, by the way, just because we are talking about it. So the photo is of it's a dinner of some sort. And Obama is there's a kid who had fallen asleep at this dinner. And
He's
Obama,
like 7-year-old,
Yeah.
or is he 7? Yeah.
7 years. Yeah, well, 7 years
Wow.
ago
Oh,
today,
yeah.
kid fell asleep during an event at the
But he
White
also
House.
looks like he's 7.
He looks
too.
like he's 7. So Obama, because he's the fucking man, came over and say what you will about his politics, by the way. And this is a lot of the comments that you see, which I think is actually quite charming. Is a lot of people are like, say what you will about his politics. The guy was 110% on charisma, you know?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so no one is interrupting this kid's nap time. I respect that. is
So the
top
kid's
comment.
falling asleep at like a fancy dinner,
Yeah.
which like a kid does because he
Right.
doesn't care and he's way past his bedtime.
Right.
And Obama's coming up right behind him, and just like
Great photo op.
trolling him a little bit, which is funny.
That kid's gonna love that picture.
Yeah,
the
say,
greatest
say what
photo.
you will about this guy, but he maxed out charisma.
True that.
I have criticisms of his presidency for sure, but Obama singing Al Green for 5 seconds is cooler than anything this president has ever done. Any president has ever done in aggregate, maybe except for Teddy Roosevelt. But the reason this is an interesting post, by the way, is because I got in a slight Reddit fight with somebody over this photo.
Oh
Very-
yeah, well,
very subtly.
we forgot to tell our fans out there that It's Your Dad has decided to become very mean on Reddit, which
that's my new
which is
thing.
like I feel like breaking news on this pod.
I'm
is.
pretty psyched. I have a lot of malice in my heart, so I think that this is a good opportunity for me to be a very mean person.
Right.
Let it out. I mean, this is like maybe like like the stress reducer of like lifting weights, but,
Yeah.
but mentally on,
Yeah.
on Reddit.
So this guy had posted so and usually, again, my whole thing lately has been I'm very into the idea of people I'm like a pro doxing guy now.
Yeah.
Which it sounds fucked and I don't really mean it that way, but somebody had posted something that was basically like it was like I don't remember the exact comment. It was something to the extent of like, oh, like people complaining that like Black lives don't matter, but like look how many black people are in that photo, right? It was like some stupid like fucking curmudgeon bullshit,
Yeah.
right? And so
I don't get it.
I responded to him that was like, this comment is very Edgar Jarmu from Metalocalypse, which I don't know if you guys get that reference.
I
Edgar
don't.
Jarmu in Metalocalypse is this guy, he's a loser. His like, I think Jomfru in Finnish is virgin. So he's like a keyboard warrior type thing. Lots of incel energy is what I said. And then he responded something else, like something trying to mock me. And I said, it was like, you guys really have to, I see full comments. Let's see if I can actually identify this. This is where the Reddit kind of,
You picked up 3,000 comments on this?
no. Jesus Christ, no. I don't know how to find my comment, but he had said something like mocking me where it was like, you guys really have to find new tactics on other than attacking people. And my comment was, you guys really have to come up with new tactics for eating Cheetos without getting crumbs on your waifu pillow.
Nice. Where?
And then he was like, I don't know what any of that means, but all the Democrats just like, you should just like stop smoking pot. And like, it was like a Cleansington comment, right?
Cleanse. It might have been.
So my comment and response was legalize marijuana pots.
God, legalize it.
And then that ended the conversation. So
I helped someone. I helped someone on Reddit this week. Yeah.
That's
Oh.
nice.
This
Feels good.
woman. I was on the Japanese
are a
chin.
superhero.
I am. I was on the Japanese chin subreddit, which is the breed of dog that I have.
Japanese chin?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they had like
Interesting.
the best chin in the world or
No,
something.
it's a
like the
breed of
smoothest.
dog. It's a breed
Nicest.
of dog. And I like going on there and like complimenting other people's Japanese chins. And this lady
so
posted
nice.
her this
That's
Japanese.
so much nicer than my tactic of just like berating
So-
people.
I went on the pro life.
But your dad is
page
going
recently.
hardcore and
Right.
Dog Boops is going nice core.
I know.
I really but I at the same time recently went on the pro life page and got into it little bit.
Right.
But actually, I was really hard to argue with.
Well, sorry we interrupted you. What was your thing about, how did you
The
help
dogs?
this person?
Okay,
Yeah.
so this lady posted a picture of a little lantern or something, a paper lantern.
Okay.
Let me text it to you if you want to pull it up or anything.
Japanese chin lantern.
Yeah, it was like a little lantern with a painting of like this breed of dog. And she was like, does anybody know what this says? And I happen to have a friend who
Right.
was born in Japan, speaks fluent Japanese. And so I sent it to him and got an answer and then responded to this person. And she was very grateful and said her aunt was going to really enjoy.
You are a detective.
I
Look at you.
know. Apparently the character and the stamp on this image is it's Okayama, which is a typical Japanese surname.
Okay.
And both things say the same thing. The red is apparently a stamp that families get. That's their like official family surname
Like
stamp.
a crest. Or,
Yeah. And like a lot of they're so important. A lot of families keep them in like safety deposit boxes and just have replicas that they use.
Huh.
Very interesting stuff, though.
All right. All
Those
right.
stamps
I like it.
are so cool looking.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
It's very classic.
So it's
Yeah.
probably just it belonged to someone
Right.
in that family.
It's
or
it's
someone-
actually like a lost dog poster. It's like-
find her dog.
Yeah.
And that dog looks like a complete oaf, by the way.
Yeah, Trevor's way cuter.
Yeah. Trevor looks like Trevor looks he looks suspicious of things.
He does,
And
and
that-
frantically like upset. When
I saw a hawk the other day. Would have eaten Trevor in 2 seconds.
2 seconds. This
thing was ferocious.
I have to protect.
You have to protect him. It's your son. All right, so let's hit a couple
Anybody got a
randoms to close
random
this one
going
out.
on?
Yeah, so Dog, why don't you tell us about your random?
Yes.
Are you capable of sharing your screen?
Let me see if I go on.
Wow, I just got my random was Game of Thrones. So fucking lame.
I was
Most
just thinking about that.
disabled attendee screen sharing, unfortunately. Let me send you the link,
All right,
and then we'll
send it over.
figure that out. Like next
Man, I got
time.
we get some noob randoms here. Open Media Vault. OMV.
All right.
Cisco. Wow, these are awful. For hire is kind of interesting, I guess.
Maybe I should check that out.
You probably should, honestly. I mean, that's actually a really interesting. That's an interesting place where Reddit can suddenly be used. Is
Yeah.
like in the concept of for hire. All right, did you text me your
did.
thing? Okay.
My subreddit random that I actually feel really strongly about is
Oh my god, this is
TV
amazing.
too high. And
TV
it's
too
just
high.
about TVs that are mounted way too high.
I like this.
And like the biggest,
What in the world?
the thing I see often
Oh my god, that TV is way too high.
is so funny. Like the community is 14,000 members, almost 15,000 members.
TV too high.
It was created October of last year, so it's relatively new.
Well, that TV is way too high.
I'm joining it. And it just says TVs that are too high. And like, I'm sorry, it's a thing. Like
It is a thing.
It's such a fucking thing.
I actually may have that issue currently. I don't mind it because of the way the
might
TV is
too.
angled.
yeah.
But-
See, this people are TV explaining.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Ours is above our fireplace,
Same.
which makes me very nervous. But
Same.
we have a pretty low fireplace, so it doesn't feel like I'm craning my neck. But I think in an ideal world, it's supposed to be you're sitting on the couch, it should be pretty much eye level.
Right.
Yeah, slightly
It shouldn't
above.
be like,
There's a couple factors. There's kids. Maybe there's a fireplace. It's a factor. You can't really get around that.
yep.
Right.
Kids like getting above like the grabbing range. Maybe like a wily cat.
Right. I see a
Right.
lot of people in the comments here saying, like, people, you don't need your couches to be facing your fireplace. And I'm like, whoa.
That's an interesting thought.
But it's weird because, like, apartment architecture, like, how it's really hard because a lot of houses and apartments are planned that way. Like, there aren't other walls for you to really
Yeah.
use, or like
It depends on the
the
layout.
layouts of the rooms are like so that like putting a couch this way is like, why would you put it the narrow way?
This is kind of
or-
a transcendent conversation, honestly. I've
It's-
never really thought about it this way, but now
Yeah.
I actually cannot tell my girlfriend we're having this conversation because
No.
I've like told her, I'm like, please leave the TV where it is. I like it. It's fine.
yeah.
On top of the
Oh,
fireplace?
shit.
On top of the fireplace.
And she wants to move it.
She wants to like do
Lower it?
some other things to the room
move
that I
it away
think
from
would
the
imply
fireplace?
that,
Ooh.
and I like don't want that to happen.
Dog boobs.
Shit.
I think you need to backdoor send her a couple links. Really stir the pot
I
over
mean,
there.
this one is
Really
fucking.
stick my nose
this
into
is
this relationship.
this one is truly
Hey, I
psychotic.
heard.
Like, are you guys looking at the one I have on the screen right now?
I'll share it.
That is an
Yeah.
unbelievably high TV.
That is not normal. How
Like-
can you watch anything?
That does not make any sense.
No.
It literally does not make any
That
sense.
should
This is
be
as high
a
as
good
the ceiling
10 feet
fan.
lower.
Yeah.
That should be 10 feet lower.
The one in the friend's garage?
The one
this-
that was
this
in their
one.
living room, like above their fucking like cabinetry
Can you see it on your screen?
No.
You don't see my
on the Zoom
Sorry.
meeting.
Oh, it's
on the
not-
Zoom meeting.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's suicidal. And this is too high for sure. But I understand. See, the thing with a high TV though is that when you're looking, because if you're leaning back and you're just like vegging,
Yeah.
it's a good angle. But you can't. You have to like. It's
It also
tough.
depends
Very
on
tough.
the size
Yeah.
of the room, the depth you have,
Right.
and then the angle of the TV. If you can angle it down a little bit, it's
Right.
okay.
Yeah, but also it's an eyesore to just keep it up there
It
when
is.
it's too high.
I think TVs should be white. This is not a race thing.
I mean, this is.
I just think so when they're off, I think most people's walls are white. I
Right.
think they should
Yeah.
like blend
Oh, that's an
better with the
interesting idea.
wall.
Oh my
Because the
God.
fact that every TV is black and everyone's wall is white, it's like, dude,
Yeah.
just make a white TV.
Have you seen the Samsung Frame TV?
Oh, they're
No.
pretty cool. Yeah,
But they should be something you can like take away or not see when you're not using
Yeah,
it.
this
This
image
TV.
is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen.
That is so gross.
That is disgusting. Why
Like,
would you
that
put
is-
it
So
over
we're-
your
we're
right
looking
window?
at-
What fucking what illogical monster? This has got to be a college house.
That has to be.
Yeah, this is.
Check
this
out the
is-
Frame TV because I think that might be what you're looking for, buddy.
I mean, see, these
When
are
it's off,
insane,
it looks like a piece of art.
dude. These are literally
When it's on, it's on. Art
absolutely.
when it's off. Wow, that does
fucking-
look fucking baller.
And it
right.
doesn't look like a TV. It doesn't emit light
That's a
when it's
fucking-
art. So it looks like an actual print.
I've been talking about this for years.
Sorry, I'm getting pumped about this.
Oh.
Anybody else want to share their random so I don't keep talking about interior decor?
I mean, this is just this sub has gotten me very very upset. Actually,
I know
it
because
got me kind of heated.
it
to be
makes
honest.
me
Yeah.
because then I got into it and I was looking at it. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm judging, and then I'm like, I'm one of the people that
I'm
has
one of
it
those.
above their
I'm definitely one of
fireplace.
those as well.
Are you guys hanging cable,
No, we had it like put
Tuck-
through, tucked
nice.
away.
Dad?
I
I feel like your last time I was at your house was 3 houses ago, and there were some cables.
we've done a better job managing
Yeah.
our cables.
Good.
All right, purple pill debate. So this is
boy.
neutral community discussing sex and gender issues. Specifically those pertaining to the blue pill and the red pill. Wow. So this is a cross between blue and red. I actually feel like the pills may be a good big hitter episode for us
That would
yeah.
be an interesting breakdown.
because they're the red pill and blue pill are pretty serious.
I don't know which.
Really
What
interesting.
are we?
Red pill
what
is
are- what am
so
I?
that's the
Red
matrix,
pill.
right? The matrix is
I can't
like,
remember which one's which.
The blue pill is everything's the same and you'll forget everything that ever happened. But the red pill is you learn everything that
And
you
in
didn't
this
know before.
context, the red pill is like, sorry, women are for kitchen and sex, men are for
Right.
logging and and hunting.
You know your men, Douglas.
and then the blue pill is more of like a evolved approach
Yeah,
to
it's like
sexuality.
don't
Just
like
whatever.
fucking like trick yourselves, guys, with the blue pill and pretend you're equal. We all need to accept gender roles and like
Got
it's
it.
totally okay.
Fascinating. What a
It's-
fascinating thing. I don't
Can
know
I-
enough about it.
Yeah, it seems like
The
Gotta do
Matrix
it.
is a tight movie though.
seems like everyone's a little different. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just two things.
no.
Yeah, it's not just two things. All right, you got anyone over there, Freed? You want me to pull it up?
Nah. Well, hold on, because not that one. Let's just see what happens, because I have a tendency to get really shitty randoms.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten horrible. I'm on Muay Thai right now, which I wouldn't consider as a
Ooh.
particularly. I mean, I guess
That's
there's
pretty
something
cool.
interesting. Full Metal Alchemist.
This one's interesting. Introvert.
Is that
Okay.
an
Introvert's
anime?
pretty good. Yeah, I've been trying to get into anime more actually.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like watch. I've been watching Cowboy Bebop,
Oh,
Well,
this
that's
bit.
supposed to be real good.
Akira.
Gosh.
Akira's a classic.
Well,
though.
this one's great.
Get
Just
in on that.
Friends, the show, and the sub. But this like the sub
Concept
is
of
called
Friends.
"How You Doing." That's the
funny.
name of the sub.
How you doing?
I feel like that's a sub to go to when life's got you on the ropes
Yeah.
Yep.
and you just need a laugh.
Couldn't agree more.
Couldn't
I heard
agree more.
like
agree
a
more.
social psychologist talking using Friends as an example. He's like, you can pretty much turn Friends on mute,
Yeah.
and you know exactly what's going on based on their like facial and
Right.
body expressions, like you know the whole story. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting. Like you can just follow the emotional ebbs and flows of an episode
Man, I
through
don't fucking like that show though.
I missed it. It's not my
It's
show
not
at
my
all.
thing either. Yeah, but I have some friends. I have some. I
But
wouldn't
it's
call them
so
friends.
big, man.
I know some people that are like absolute friends apostles,
Friends heads.
friends heads, and I just feel like it's stupid. Like I don't know.
What about Seinfeld? Because those two
Seinfeld is
go
great.
head to head.
Well, but Seinfeld is clever and cynical. I feel like Friends is
love
like
Seinfeld.
for
Seinfeld's my
fucking.
favorite.
Friends is for. This is a
Yeah.
controversial take. I'm
Idiots.
gonna say it though. Friends is for fucking uneducated piece of shit boomers that are actually millennials.
It's very.
That's a very. Whoa. That's I don't mean that, but I do also
I mean it.
kind of mean it.
It's very comforting.
It's very comforting.
It doesn't take very much thinking.
Doesn't take much
That
brain
is
power.
very. You
But
know
that's
what?
kind of why it's. But that's why it's so
why it's
popular.
popular.
I liked it when I was in high school,
It's good, man. It's really easy to watch.
and it's like
you can't hate it.
nostalgia. It's inoffensive to have on. If you need
Right.
noise, it's inoffensive to have on. Would I rather have Will and Grace on? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, show.
Yes, I would.
I mean, I'd rather have on. What's my comfort show? I mean, I put on like I like falling asleep to Arrested Development or
I
Always
was
Sunny.
just gonna ask if Arrested Development.
Arrested Development is just
Workaholics.
so.
Is it Workaholics?
Workaholic.
Arrested Development is just so cleverly written, man.
Yes.
And
everything ties back into a joke.
yeah, exactly.
Mine is Dateline.
Oh, nice.
Arrested Development for me is like so frantic, and it's almost like so all over the place. Although I very much appreciate like how clever it is, it's almost like so much.
Like
It's
too
not relaxing.
Frenetic
Yeah.
for
Like
you.
you gotta really like. An old show I've been getting into lately is 30 Rock. I'm like, oh man, this shit's hilarious.
It's a very funny show.
It's
very
so
well written.
funny.
Yeah.
But it feels like frenetic like that a little bit
Yeah.
too. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, they work in as many jokes as possible.
so many jokes.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. But all right. Well, this is. I think we're wrapped up here now. I think this is. We've come to the end of this road. I have Limp Bizkit's Nookie playing in the background, evidently.
Hell
I've
yeah.
I've had just been switching videos, but that's one I ended on. But okay, cool. Well, this is Did You Reddit, weekly podcast about the internet by way of Reddit, the front page of the internet. This was a front page review, the first of many.
Yeah.
My name is It's Your Dad.
Sorry, I just saw a sad thing. Okay. So now I gotta go call Cleansington and my mom and tell them I love them.
You don't have to do that. Just call
I'm
your
dog
mom.
boobs.
Just call your mom.
My free day. Good to be back.
Good to be back, as always. We will, hit us up. We actually got also a little bit of listener mail. We had a nice person send us another version of our song,
That's so cool.
which I'm starting to get the hint. Everybody's like, "Hey, have you guys thought about making a new song?"
hey, this one
Yeah.
might sound better.
Yeah, but I do appreciate that. And then anybody else who wants to hit us up at hi@didyourreddit.com. You can also use our respective usernames at didyourreddit.com. So It's Your Dad, Dog Boobs with BOOBES and My Free Day, and then hit us up on our subreddit. Did You Reddit, the subreddit, which Dog Boobs is the primary admin for.
Gonna hang out there.
And
Instagram too. I'm pretty much the guy there. So if you send a
Right.
message, expect some broy response. Usually like a 69 or 420 dick pic, some kind of thing.
yeah, soliciting nudes on our Instagram by way of.
No, I send them.
Oh, I
nudes.
see.
Yeah, yeah.
So you send unsolicited nudes. but
Yeah.
not even of yours.
No, it's just like a greeting card.
I like that.
In
I
my
like
world.
that
You
approach.
Google nudes and you send them unsolicited.
Yeah, they're not me.
Like it.
No.
They're none of us.
And then if you want to follow along with some of the references that we've been talking about today, you can find this video on our YouTube channel, and probably eventually we're going to be back on Twitch. But right now we just have to kind of get the technology sorted out. I think there's
Hold a
some questions.
stopgap.
If anybody knows how to use
out
Twitch, let us know.
We know how to use Twitch. We just have to now I
Bryson.
have to figure out how to use the board in conjunction with Twitch while also broadcasting video without a
Bryson.
lag.
Without the lag. And
He's our
I think-
guy.
I think
We need to get
some
we need to get
Twitch
Uncle
cams.
Bry on here.
Yeah.
He
dude.
actually offered to help us when we're ready.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think we're ready.
I think we're ready.
We're ready. Be.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week with another episode about the internet. Bye.
Bye.